Yesterday we completed bear shaft paper tuning our arrows. So there's a few things that you're going to need to start the fletching process. All right. So the first thing that we're going to look at is my setup right here. Right. So I got paper towel, a little bit of alcohol, rubbing alcohol. Got that from Walmart. Some fletching glue. I use Max Bond. Pretty quick, pretty easy. Sets in about 10 to 15 seconds and ready to shoot in about 5 minutes. All right. Then you're going to need a fletching jig, something like this, and something to stick fletches in. I got a right helical fletch because I shoot a right bevel broadhead. And then, like I said earlier, Sharpie's a archer's best friend. I've already marked mine right there. As you can see, it is at the 1-inch mark. That's where most manufacturers do their fletching. The other voice you hear is my assistant. Yep, that's my boy. Pretty much my mini-me. So he kind of does everything. Yeah, name's CJ. Yeah. So anyway, how we're going to start this off is we're just going to grab a little bit of alcohol, throw it on our towel, grab the end of a arrow, and then just start rubbing it. Alright. Now once you're done, you're going to have a little bit of that residue left over. That's perfectly fine. That's just from the factory. Just rub it off. It allows for a little bit quicker set. I just set it off to the side somewhere. And then I already did this one right before the video. So we're going to take out the fill point. That just makes the arrow just a little bit more manageable inside the fletching jig. Alright. Y'all see the phone's moving and everything. I tell you, it's a little bit easier when the phone's not moving, because that means the table's not moving, but that's fine. Alright. So before we get started on everything, I'm going to show y'all my setup. Alright. So right here you see my setup. I have 3-inch Boeing fletchings. I grabbed these last year. So I'm trying something a little bit different. So I want to go ahead and I'm going to run 3-inch Boeing fletchings. You see that I have 2 different colors. Usually you want one of your odd colors to be on your arrow, right? So I got bright, vibrant colors because I'm very colorblind. So I can't really see anything once it hits the ground. So I try to get vibrant colors that I can see. I do try to stay away from blue. Don't know why. I've heard old timers talk. Deer can see blue out of any other color. So I stay away from blue the best I can. How true it is, I have no idea. But I listen to those old timers and I listen to them talk. So I grab a few fletchings and I'm pretty much ready to go on my back end. All right. So I go ahead, grab my fletching jig, and I'll line everything up. Now I'm gonna do all 3 orange and then 1 yellow because I did all 3 yellow and 1 orange yesterday. He's going crazy over the light. Oh yeah? I forgot to add this in there. You want to go ahead and you want to go ahead and rub this down with alcohol, blow it off, dry it off, and then let it dry off, give it a little wave. Whee! Okay, then I'll take this, set it down, grab my Max Bond, hit the little needle inside there, give it a good twist, and then everything should come out just fine. My little helper's everywhere today. So then, all I'm going to do is just make sure that I can cover most areas. Just a thin line throughout the whole thing. Wipe it off, put it back down, make sure you put your lid on. Then you're going to put your fletching jig on the magnet, slide it all the way back, and then if everything goes right, you're going to go ahead and set it down right there and watch all the air bubbles disappear. Then we're just going to wait about 10-15 seconds and it should have set by that time. And then once you're done, you're going to go ahead and wipe some of that glue off, that little excess residue. It's no big deal. Been about 10-15 seconds. Alright, here's another thing, is you're going to turn it away from this magnet here. Alright, it can turn that way. If you turn it that way, you're just going to rip the fletching that you just put on there off. So go ahead, turn it away, and you'll be good to go. So there are different fletching systems. There are 3 and a 4. I went with the 4. Last year I ran 3, but I'm trying to change things up a little bit this year and make it a little bit better on me. We'll see how successful I am with it this year. We'll see once I start actually flying arrows into the target, which I'm going to bring y'all along with me on that. So again, just repeat the same process. Every time I get done, I like to clean this off. Scrape that glue out. Try to keep it as fresh as I can every time. I meant to do that earlier, but I forgot. It happens. Then we're going to go ahead and throw another one in. We're going to make sure that it lines up with everything. And when I'm talking about the lineup, I try to keep the tail end of my fletch right in line with that black line there. I do it the same way every time. That's pretty much an archer's consistency. He's going to try to do the same thing every time regardless of what's going on. Alright, there are times when you might have to change, and that's perfectly fine. I've had to change a few things in which the way I do, but just learn to move on and keep improving. Get that on there, then again, slide it all the way back, and then put it back down. So I started really doing this because when I first got into it, archery seemed like a very daunting thing. It seemed like I couldn't do it, and it was like a foreign language. So once you really start making friends in it and you start doing things, it starts becoming like second nature to you. But that's kind of why I got into it. And there's not a whole lot of people that teach on it. There's a lot of knowledge out there that I've come to share, soak in. And so I thought, well, if I can reach out to other people, I can try it myself. Been about 15 seconds, take that off. I'm going to go ahead and wipe this off very first thing just because I want to make sure that it stays clean. Alcohol does take off a lot of stuff, so just be careful when you're wiping it off because it can take off your line that you have there. So just remember where you put it, because I remember where I put it at the 1 inch mark, but it just allows me to ensure that I did my stuff right. So again, grab another, slide it in there all nice and pretty like. Make sure that it's where I need it. Bam, I think I got it just right. And then put my glue back on. I'm going to angle y'all to my side. Bam. Just a little bit different. Y'all can see it from my point. I can get a better glue. My wife's trying to help me. She's taking my assistant away. Call him a mini-me because he's just like me. It's crazy. Oh shoot, I slipped off there, but that's fine. Back on the jig, all the way back. Again, consistency. I would like to show y'all the little air bubbles popping out, but I don't think my camera's that good. And let's wait about another 10-15 seconds. I'm probably going to take a little extra time on this one. Clean off the glue that I got on there, because it got a little bit everywhere, I ain't going to lie. That's fine. That's no big deal. I just keep playing with it. Try to keep it as flat as possible. Now it's been about 10-15 seconds. Take it off. And again, repeat the process. That's all I do. Just keep going. It's a really easy task. Just got to make sure that's the same way. You don't want these fletchings all different measurements from the base or from the front. You want to try to keep it all the same if you can. Again, I look at it from this side, see about where I want to put it. Bam. Sometimes you can put it on there, measure it up, see if it still is measuring right. I think I'm a little forward on that one actually, so I'm probably gonna put it back just a bit. See, again, same thing every time I messed it up just a tad. That's fine. It's a learning curve. Just plug and play. That's all you do. Plug and play. Lid back on. Swing it all this way. And then back to the base and put it on the arrow. And we just wait about another 10-15 seconds. We'll let that go and we'll get it going. Alright, so arrow's pretty much done, which is really good. So I think it looks pretty dang good. I'm happy with it. Put some alcohol on my rag, and I'm just going to try to rub some of that glue off. If you have to, you can get a straight edge something just to chip off that glue that is caked on there. Use your fingernail or something. Alright, so I got the glue off. Now we're going to take this arrow out since it's been set, and I'm going to look at it. I'm going to try to clean up some of the glue residue on there. I'm not too worried about anything going haywire. This glue is really good. And then at the end, we should have a good helical. You see that kind of got a spin to it. And that's what we're looking for right there. So then I'm just going to go ahead and throw my field point back on and set it somewhere nice and safe. Primarily where my kids, my animals can't get it. But for right now, it's going to go right beside me, just like this, so it can sit there and dry suspended, and I don't got to worry about it at all. That's how you're going to fletch your arrows. So I got 4 more to do, and then we'll start shooting once we got them all fletched. I don't know if I'll be shooting today, but eventually I will, and I'll bring y'all out there with me. So, but that's how you do it. That's my setup. Pretty easy. So the fletching jig that I have here, you can get that Bass Pro. I got this one from my local archer. The vanes or the fletches, again, Bass Pro, local archer. I think I got these ones from Bass Pro. I want to try something different. Some things to keep in mind whenever you're doing this is there are certain vanes and arrows and glues that only go with certain arrows, vanes and glue. Tack, I use them for a little bit. Still a really good vane. I still use them. But I learned that the adhesive that takes off the residue from the arrow, they like to really for you to use tack primer more or less. And then also tack glue. Now with Max Bond, I haven't had any issue with it on the alcohol to the arrow. I haven't had any issues like that. So just I keep it the same way just about every time if I can, and it's been pretty good. And then that's really about it, honestly. So I got, again, like I said, about 4 more arrows to go through, and I pretty much just do this. So next step is shooting, which I'm hoping to take y'all out and we'll get it all figured out there. Another little thing I want to show y'all on this is this right here. This is your screw adjustment. So I had to put a vane inside the clamp right here and set it on the arrow to make sure that it was flush to the arrow. You don't want any space on the back end or the front end of the arrow. You want it to be pretty flush along with that arrow. And then when you put that glue on that vein and you set it on the arrow, you'll see the air pockets kind of just dissipate. It's a very simple process if you ever want to do it yourself. If not, it's no harm, no foul to go to a bow tech, have them either do a straight vein, straight or a helical fletch, left or right. It is harder to find someone who does helical fletches, but when you do a helical fletch with that arrow flight, it just spins. It's kind of like a bore of a barrel. Once that bullet passes through, it gets that spin. It's kind of like the arrow, it gets that spin. It's a little bit more accurate, opposed to just a straight fletch. So do with that information what you will, but I'm going to get to work. I got a few more things I got to do, and then I think Little Man's going to help me out. So y'all have a great one. See you around.